Yeah, you know what it is. Welcome to the best coast. Yo, it's Bronze Age nerd with that collecting elite. Big B McFly steady bringing the vintage heat. Pull up a seat, we diving in the stacks. Silver to the bronze, got the knowledge on tap. From Kirby's Kings to the mutants, wow. We breaking it down in that laid back style. So grab your snacks, let the panels unfold. This is comic book chillin' with the stories we told. Comic book vibes, we flipping them pages. Legends and lore from all the ages. Golden to the modern, we talk that news. With Big B McFly and the nerd cut loose. Yo, you tune into that Bronze Age flow, where comics live and legends grow. Big B McFly in the cut, let's fly. Best coast, baby, comics are what saved me. Big B, yeah. Baby, comics are what saved me.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Coming to you live from the West Coast, aka the Best Coast. I'm one of your hosts, Christopher, aka the Bronze Age Nerd, and as always, I am joined by my illustrious co-host,
Abraham Lincoln.
Honest Abe, in the flesh.
7 years ago. No, Big B McFly, the comic guy.
What's up, Big B? How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. It's been an interesting week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week for me as well. And we have an interesting show tonight, too. We are talking about our main topic, we're going to get to a little bit later, is talking about J Scott Campbell, somebody who I think both of us are fans of, right?
He's the guy that makes soup, right?
Yeah, Campbell soup. I
got lots of reference stuff for that. I got a stack of cans, my favorite flavors, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah, the J stands for juicy. It's really good. So yeah, Jeffrey Scott Campbell. We're talking about the man, the myth, the cover artist, and we're getting a lot of
incredible interior artist too. He doesn't do it anymore.
And that's what I'm teasing a little bit. Is I have lamented many times publicly that I wish he was still out there doing covers. Before we say hello to everybody in the chat and talk about what we've been up to and what we picked up and all that kind of fun stuff, and then get to our main topic, I want to take a chance to say that we're streaming on 3 different channels. If you could go give any of these channels a subscription, if you're not already, I would really appreciate it. We're streaming over on the EXP network of comic book shows. It's a really good channel. The EXP, there's a link in the description below for that, as well as Big B McFly's channel, aka Honest Abe. And you can go check out his channel as well. And then this is Bronze Age Nerd. My channel is down there. If you want to check that out, well, we would appreciate you subscribing to all those great channels. There's a lot of good content I think you're going to like on those channels. And the other thing I want to do, even before we say hello to the chat, I'm going to change it up a little bit. I am just going to real quickly show you that where we're at for Heroes for Heroes and give you a quick update. Heroes for Heroes is our effort to raise money for Mission 22 to help veterans and their families deal with mental health issues that unfortunately it's a really big issue for veterans. So this is something we do every year. Currently for the 2025 campaign, after our first big auction, we're sitting at $4,262 of our $5,000 goal, which I think by the end of 2025, I expect us to go past $5,000, but we can't do it without your help. I do want to just let everybody know that we do have a auction, really more of an art stream planned for July 26th, which is a Saturday. I believe we're going to start streaming at 1 p.m. Pacific or 4 p.m. Eastern. The time might change a little bit, might move forward or back a little bit, depending on artist schedules. That's going to get scheduled later this week. I'll make a post about it so you can go follow it. If you're interested in drawing on the community art stream, or if you know any artists that want to draw on that stream, get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you. Last thing I'm going to say is a lot of comic book shipments went out Friday, and some more are going out tomorrow from the last auction. Print stuff, I've got a lot of it packed. I actually need to find some special boxes for the framed things, and I want to find some protectors for the oversized Mission 22 prints we have. So if you're waiting on prints and you haven't heard anything about that yet, please understand that we are going to get to you. It's just we want your stuff to arrive in good shape. And with that said, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. Number 1 with a bullet this week is Hydra Asylum Comics. That is our producer Jay, also a great member of a YouTube channel called Hydra Asylum Comics, another channel you should go subscribe to. GTK Comic in the house in the silver position. Oh, there was a joke that didn't make it through, apparently. That's too bad. And then we got Richard Westfall in here with the Bronze Award, the coveted Bronze Medal Award, the most important one to me.
I think he was waiting for that, laying in wait.
Exactly. It's time. Get ready to rumble. We have actual Dracula in addition to Derek joining us. What's up, actual Dracula? What's up, Derek?
Did you get that piece in time for Drac?
Yeah, I've got it. So we have community artwork at the end of the show that we're going to go over. One of those pieces is from actual Dracula.
An awesome piece.
Yeah, an awesome piece from an awesome artist and awesome person too. I'm going to go ahead and say that.
Absolutely. And you teased that art show. I want to say thank you to everybody who's saying that they're going to get involved. And I've reached out to a lot of people. If you haven't responded yet, please get back to me. You can say, I don't have time or whatever, but it'd be cool to know, like, if you're going to donate something. If you don't have time, whatever.
Yeah. Yep. I've already got a couple people that have talked about, showing a piece that they already have done or something like that. And then we're going to auction it off during the stream. We can kind of do that as people are drawing and we're taking bids on stuff.
That's totally cool.
Our live art stream was a lot of fun last year, so I do recommend checking it out.
That was super fun. You can get some great stuff, and we got some awesome artists lined up already. So
yeah. Do you have any questions prepared about jambalaya?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
Grab your ankles and get into silver position. I call that pole position.
Whoa.
Juicy Soup Campbell. The juice is gonna get you.
That's right.
Not OJ. I'm talking about the old Juicy Fruit commercials.
Right.
So we were, at this point in the show, we're going to talk about our week a little bit, go over anything we watched or anything that was, newsworthy or just our lives, comic book pickups, that kind of stuff. And then we'll get into our main topic. You mentioned you had kind of an interesting week. What's going on, man? What happened?
I've just been getting back into, doing more art. I went and actually got a bunch of prints done for the Heroes for Heroes auction. So there's some stuff that I didn't have before. So we'll have some of my fantasy artwork.
Oh, nice. I love that one.
Yeah. There's a dragon. And then we've got, as well as I went ahead and did pencils and black and whites and stuff and everything too, and then the Batman pages and all that and whatnot. So that'll be cool stuff we can show off and sell there and make some money for a good cause. So
some comic trips.
Oh, that's awesome. And I got something else. I got to show the shirt.
Oh yeah.
It's from Mr. Akins. What's on the comic rack? So thank you, Mr. Akins. He is a super huge John Byrne fan, so
I love that
shirt.
Nice. A little timely too. John Byrne's birthday was just like last week, I think. So.
Right. It was great.
Cool.
So yeah, other than that, I haven't really picked up. I picked up some books from Travis in a claim sale. And you and I hung out in a claim sale, hoping to win a giant size X-Men, but that didn't happen. So.
No, that didn't happen. I did make one purchase that's been on my list for a while for a book I've been looking for, and it felt like it was a fair price. It was on Whatnot, and the condition on Whatnot is always a little dicey, especially it was a big streamer who they go quick. They don't really show a ton of condition on books.
He wasn't saying condition at all. I did notice on a lot of the books he was showing there was significant spine ticks and stuff, but he wasn't really. He would kind of quickly go whoop, whoop in front of the camera and.
He did for some of those shows. Honestly, I think he did an okay job. But
he was 600 books that night. So I mean,
and he's going fast.
He was going as quick as he could. And there was how many hundred people in there? They were giving away a giant
150 at any given time, I think. Yeah. So yeah, giant size X-Men #1 didn't end up in Big B or my hands, unfortunately,
or Travis's hands. Travis.
Yep. Well, he didn't even
stream and went to do something else and forgot and didn't come back to get into the drawing.
So maybe he would have won, but hey, how about so yeah, you had that go on. Any pickups or anything like that you want to show off, or anything you want to talk about?
I haven't really picked up any books. I do have some. I can show some things that are going to be going out to Christina Payne. She picked up some stuff from me, so we'll show those.
Ooh,
because she's
else's pickups.
She's a Goofy fan, so
yeah. I got a couple of those Disney covers. They're pretty fun.
Yeah, so she got pretty much a whole set of the there's your
right
goofy
on.
cover, Christina. The Disney covers from me. So
I love that first appearance of Havoc one got one. That's just so funny.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
It's
I didn't
cool,
have the I don't have the what if Donald Duck in here. The Donald Duck became Wolverine, but most of the other ones. So
some good ones.
Yeah.
Right
So
hey, what's up,
Christina? So,
oh, we got John Stout in the house. What's up, John?
And you know what? Speaking of what we watched, we should ask Jay really quickly because we teased it last week. Because he watched something important to him.
So, and this is spoiler free, everybody. Don't worry.
Right.
Yeah, I would never want to spoil this movie for anybody. So,
I heard a movie came out this weekend.
Yeah, wife and I actually got tickets to the Tuesday showing of Superman, and yeah, Comic Tropes. That was going to be my next. I was going to ask a question about that. Do you think she likes comics? I'm wondering.
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible that Sydney Sweeney would like comic books.
Their own show.
Yeah.
Thank you for setting that up, my man. But we went to the Tuesday showing. After watching it, I really, really, really liked it. And then my buddy Sean got us tickets for Saturday. And after that, I loved it. Like, it's going to be in my rotation of Superman movies. Again, if you're on the fence about it, give it a shot. It's very tonally different from Man of Steel. I still like Man of Steel, but it's very tonally Silver Age goodness. Like, it was really good.
Right on. I'm excited to go watch it. I'm trying to figure out a time that everybody can get to see it. Basically, I'm excited for it. It's obviously done gangbusters in terms of box office, and everyone I've seen
that I know that it's great. Some of the people that I know that are the biggest like negative Nellies are raving about it. So that speaks volumes to me.
I can watch this all day. I love it. Nice. Yeah. I hopefully, gosh, this week, I should say, there's just too many things going on for me to be able to see it until next weekend at least. But maybe then. Awesome. Oh, by the way, shout out to Comic Tropes. I just watched, speaking of things we watched, I'll jump ahead a little bit. This is related to Superman tangentially. He does a great show with Jim Mahfood, and they just did their deep dive on the 80s Supergirl. And it's an awesome, it's not a stream, it's a recorded video, but it's basically them talking in depth about every part of the movie. And they do a whole series of this Trash Bonanza stuff on his Comic Tropes After Dark channel, and I really, really enjoyed that video. That movie is so bananas. It's insane. So shout out to Comic Tropes for that. And very super related if you want to get into the mindset of the super stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. So did you pick anything up?
So today my wife was supposed to have a doctor's appointment, and we thought we were going to go to this one town to get that done. And we ended up finding out that they just randomly canceled her appointment with barely notifying her, like outside of an app.
Oh, no.
So she found out today that it was canceled. And so we said, she's off. We can't get seen for her for another couple weeks. So or another week or so. Let's go the completely opposite direction. We went up to Olympia, Washington, and I went to Half Price Books. And I did pick up a few things. I'll just show a few things here that I got. Everything I got was 50 cents. The first few things I'll show is, this is actually my daughter's pickup. So I'm just going to show this because we talk about reading comics every day on my channel. So she picked up some comic books. She picked these out herself. The Bailey School Kids Vampires Don't Wear Polka Dots. Free Comic Book Day comic. She's really getting into comics now. It's fun. And you know, some of these are in rough shape, half price books. They're not bagged and boarded. She got the Pocahontas comic from back in the day, so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then this was, you know, this was the proud papa moment. She thought this was cool, and I'm so proud because, you know, I get the Pocahontas comic, I get the kids, you know, vampire comic, but she picked out Future Foundation 2 because she wanted to read a Fantastic Four comic, and that kind of came out of nowhere for me. And I told her, you know, this is actually, you know, 2's not as good as 1 if we could find that, but it's cool because it's about, you know, their kids mostly, and the I think she'll get into that. But I'm kind of excited because, like, that's reading comics to me. Is like a lot of kids, a lot of people, a lot of us, we start off with random issues in the middle of a run, and we just kind of see if we like it, right?
Yeah, we talked about that on our Are We Recommending the Right Things? Like, what books
Yeah.
you just jumped in head first, right? And you started
Yeah,
reading.
exactly. Just a couple random Avengers issues that were kind of in my area that I'm trying to collect in the early 200s and late 100s. I got a bunch of Kevin Smith Green Arrow Quiver books recently, so I grabbed issue 4. But here's some of the better stuff I grabbed. Man-Bat 1.
Oh, wow. Nice.
You know, and these were all 50 cents, so that's not bad. And then First Blood Sport, speaking of Superman.
There we go.
Not a supremely expensive book, but it's nice.
Oh, it's a cool book, though.
I didn't even look this up. I just grabbed it based on cover. I feel like this might be kind of a
Oh, yeah, that's yeah.
extremely nice, right?
Yeah, it's a newsie.
And
Nice.
it's a newsstand too. It's not an amazing shape, but it's actually not in bad shape. Like it's not like a 9.8 or anything, but
That's from that era that we were talking about during the Heroes for Heroes live stream.
Yeah.
The low print run era. Yeah.
For those that didn't watch that stream, first of all, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. Big B had a bunch of books from that era that were newsstands. In fact, I think Christina ended up with a bunch of those, right?
Yeah, Christina and her friend ended up with a bunch of the Archies. Yep.
Got some of the Ken Lashley, J Scott Campbell era Black Panther stuff, including, you know,
did you get the Campbell one?
Yeah, speaking of Campbell, right? And I literally grabbed that. I already have a copy of it. I grabbed it just for the show because I didn't have to dig for it that way. But I also got the first Shuri as Black Panther.
Nice.
That's pretty nice. And then one of my favorite little runs in the Green Lantern, Jeff Johns series.
That book finds you. That you found that at Frankenstein too.
Yep. It's funny. I had this whole series, the Grant Morrison Batman and Robin, and then I sold it when I sold my collection. I bought a comic collection and got like issues like 3 through 20 or something, but 1 and 2 were missing, so I grabbed a copy of 1. And then also with Superman on the Mind, got a little bombshell cover.
That's great. I love it.
And then this is the book I was actually just talking to Big B about, looking for. These are in terrible shape, really, but hey, whatever. They were 50 cents. 2 copies of Green Lantern 25.
Oh, there you go.
Which is a nice book. Has a ton of first appearances in it and stuff. And then, yeah, I guess I have one last book. I got a Green Lantern 28, which is kind of a minor key there too, or 28. So,
yeah.
No Joe. I actually looked for Joe, and I could not find a single G.I. Joe issue that I was interested in. There we go. But I think I did pretty good.
It's such a crapshoot when you go there. Like Travis and I were saying off screen, Travis and I have gone up there a couple of times, and we've done pretty good. We go up the I-5 corridor and hit as many as we can until we run out of time, run out of daylight. So
no, not the first thing, but it's, you know, you look at the cover, you're like, oh, and then you look, right?
The first thing I noticed was that Sydney Sweeney should be playing Betty.
I'm not playing the video again. You know, I'm gonna say this very carefully because I have not. First of all, I have not seen Superman.
Watch the cord. Sorry.
Yeah. Millie Alcock, of course, was cast as Supergirl, but man, Sydney Sweeney would have been a good choice. Do you need to jump off for a second, or? Oh, if you were actually talking, you're muted. Okay, cool. So yeah, got some decent stuff. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, no GI Joe was around. It was really, it was, it is like Big B was saying, it's a real crapshoot when you go to half price books. And gosh, what else was there that I was like thinking about? It had a lot of John Byrne's Next Men, some other stuff too, but it's at a certain point, it's like I'm not trying to buy a ton more books. Hey, what's up, Comics Limited? How you doing? Saving her for Power Girl. Yeah, you gotta bring her in as the heavy hitter. She's perfect for any role. Her and Roy Thomas. So did you see that Marvel and New York honored Jack Kirby? I did not see that. That sounds really cool. I pulled almost no news or comic book stuff for this week. We were coming back from Olympia. We were out of town and came in. We went to a few other places too, of course, and came in, like, had to make dinner, had to get my kiddo ready. So I didn't even get a chance to watch any of your show, Chris, which I normally try to tune in. So I missed some of the news there. Oh, they renamed a street, Jack Kirby Way, Yancey Street. That is very cool. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Oh, that's great. I hope they have like a somewhat stereotypical green Yancey Street sign or whatever, like they do in the comics. That is awesome. Oh, it might not have been permanent. That's a good point. Hopefully it was. That's so cool. So while we wait for Big B to be able to hop back in, I guess we'll just get started. Oh, there he is. Hi, Big B.
Yeah, somebody borrowed some computer stuff from me, and they're like, the right cord isn't here, and I'm like, I gave you every cord I have.
You have all the cords.
Yeah,
all the cords belong to us.
Right, all your cords
that mean
belong to us.
All your bases belong to us. No one has any idea what I'm talking about. I'm sure.
Old reference.
Yeah.
Our age here.
He had to eat his dinner. As a guy who stopped picking up current comics back in 2013 due to poor writing, any books currently running you would recommend? I'm a Marvel guy. So Raven's Oath, I think Comic Tropes will have some excellent recommendations for you. It sounds like you are already maybe answering that question right there. I've been trying to read, because I'm a big X-Men fan. I've been trying to read a lot of the X-Men stuff, and I've been bouncing off the post Krakoan era X-Men stuff. I don't know why. I just can't engage with it as much as I want to. Oh, there's a Schuster Way in your neighborhood. That's awesome.
The Absolute stuff for DC has been really popular. So
yeah, of course. Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff, but specifically since he says he's they say they're a Marvel guy person. I don't even know yet. I'm just assuming here. I would say the Ultimate Spider-Man stuff is really approachable and fun.
I was going to say that got rave reviews. Yep.
And then after that, I mean, it really depends. When you say you're a Marvel person, like, you mean all the Marvel stuff, or do you mean like Avengers or Spider-Man or Cosmic or what have you? Because it can kind of get easier. Oh, Predator vs. Spider-Man was really good. Okay, that's good to hear. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Ultimate Universe stuff has been really, really awesome.
I've heard that the Avengers Aliens crossover was really good too. So
I'm trying to think of what else I've really loved, because it's funny. I'm on Marvel Unlimited and I'm reading tons of stuff, and I find more and more I'm reading older stuff. Oh, well, for Daredevil, you definitely should read the Chip Zdarsky run on Daredevil. Mm-hmm. If you're kind of talking about that post 2013, that's a no-brainer for me to recommend. And then with X-Men, honestly, the Krakoa stuff, if you start with, there was a series called House of X and a series called Powers of 10, also by Jonathan Hickman. And then it launched a whole few years of X-Men continuity. It's worth reading. It gets a little meandery. I mean, it's an X-Men, universe. It kind of happens to X-Men stuff, but those are kind of some of my recommendations. Yeah. But I did want to get started on our main topic for the night, because we do have a lot of slides and stuff to go through. We want to show. So there's going to be, we're talking about, again, J Scott Campbell. one of the most dominant cover artists of today, and Big B and I mentioned earlier. Also, just a great artist, and he was a great interior artist. But today, he's so in demand as a cover artist. That's basically all he does because, hey, he's an artist. He wants to get paid, and frankly, he's probably sold more comic books on his covers than just about anybody, especially in the modern era. It's kind of the quintessential cover artist. But we have a lot of great covers that we're going to show, but it's not all covers. We're going to show some of his early stuff. We're going to show some black and white pages, just as penciled, and some of them are inked pages, a prelim, some stuff like that. We're going to kind of go over some things like that. So a little bit of something for everybody, I hope. Let me remove the link I was showing earlier and start showing you guys some J Scott Campbell. Or
you usually do a little bit of research. Do you know Campbell's background coming into comics?
So it's so funny you say that, Big B. Look, straight up, I'm just gonna cop to it. My day was gonna go a lot differently. Right. Originally, I was gonna be at home with my daughter in the morning, and my wife was gonna go to a doctor's appointment, and then maybe we would go with her or something like that. And then I was gonna have like basically all afternoon to do some research and get a slideshow together. And when I got home, all I had time to do was get the slideshow together because I had to get that done. And
yeah,
so
I was just curious because I have an art reference book that I'm going to show later, and a lot of his stuff seems to have been animation based. Like a lot of his skills are based in the animation field in this book. So I thought it was interesting.
Okay. I was going to point out this, which is his first published art in anything, and it's kind of funny because as we've seen sometimes with different creators, this is actually in the back of Savage Dragon #3, and this is as you can see here, it says art by Jeffrey Scott. You got a little Savage Dragon drawing there. Jeffrey Scott Campbell. This is his first time he had his art put in a comic book. It's kind of what got him out there.
Dragon miniseries or Savage Dragon full ongoing?
That is the mini, I think. It has the pink cover with him like jumping off. I can't remember if that's the mini or the ongoing.
Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out for that one. That's kind of a cool little key.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a real fun one. So the first few published works he had, it was as Jeffrey Scott, and then it eventually became J Scott Campbell. So that's just kind of a fun little bit there. I love how he has kind of the, I think Todd McFarlane inspired, I'm guessing, a little scroll there for his signature, which, you see how that developed over time too. And so the next thing he worked on was the Wildstorm swimsuit issue, which is fun. So he did this piece, this 2-page spread here. There's a joke that's too easy to make there about the spread.
I was trying to stay away.
We got some great characters on here, from the Top Cow stuff here, or the Wildstorm stuff here. But yeah, everyone did the scroll in the 90s. That's a good point.
Can you name all the characters?
Oh God, Velocity, Zealot, Psyblade. I
think that's Fahrenheit. Is that her name over there on the side?
Is that her name?
Blonde. Yeah.
Voodoo. That I saw that, so I can't cop to that. And then I forgot the Archer and the cybernetic.
That's Void in the middle. The Wildstorm, the Wildcats. That's Void. Yeah.
Okay. I've forgotten a lot of those characters, unfortunately. I got a few of them.
No, you did pretty good. I was looking at it. I was asking myself that question. Actually, I was like, can I name all those characters?
Yeah, the people in chat are talking about the Red Sonja trailer. You know what? I'm gonna watch that movie, but I do think that was a poorly cut trailer.
Right.
In my personal opinion, the first half of that trailer seemed a little TV movie, like people are saying. I think it gets better as it goes on, which is maybe a good thing, but I feel like they should have done a little bit more of a dramatic character reveal kind of a thing in the beginning of that trailer. But
Yeah.
Um,
I thought that, like I said, I was like, wow, that's kind of a weak story if that's how they're going from the trailer.
yeah, I love the chainmail bikini joke at the end, and then
That
the
was great.
fact that she's
Yeah.
in it. The CW Red. I think it looks fun, but yeah, it's unfortunately probably not as good as it could have been. Maybe. But only time will tell when we actually watch the movie.
Yeah.
But he
it'd be
actually
great.
did 2 pinups in this issue, the swimsuit issue. And by the way, this is his first, paid artwork essentially in a comic book. So this is a fun book to pick up. But he also
that's kind of a
did.
spendy book too, right?
I got a copy of it not that long ago for a decent price, but I don't know if the person knew what it was, maybe. But
Right.
but this is Cybernary. He did this pinup on the left here
That's cool.
as well. It's kind of interesting to see some of his early stuff, pinup stuff. That thin waist is something that was always kind of there.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know who the lady with the bow and arrow is either. That's a great question, Comic Tropes. But you can see here, it's the Cybernary with some green scaly friends and an island-inspired version of her uniform by Jeffrey Scott. You got a little alligator background, like, good background
Yeah.
for what this is. No one's really going to be looking at it, but it's fun. I got to be honest, I do not know the character of Cybernary at all. But okay, there's Cybernary.
She had some great covers on her books. That's all I remember. But that's kind of what the 90s was all about, right?
Yeah, right. Especially early Image. I got to be honest, like that just kind of, a lot of it felt like that to me. But man, I remember these swimsuit and like lingerie specials and stuff. There's just some interesting stuff. But the pinups are really fun in them.
The lady with the bow and arrow was from the Silvestri book.
Okay.
What was the name
Ripclaw?
of that one? No, the team book. Jim Lee had Wildcats. Silvestri had Ripclaw came from there.
Yeah. That's right.
Cyberforce?
Yeah.
Cyberforce.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I was like, I could think of character names, but not the name of the team.
Right.
And so is Cy Blade too in the back here, right? She's
Right.
from
Yeah.
Cyberforce. In fact, weren't all 3 in the back from Cyberforce?
Void is from Wildcats.
Void's Wildcats. Okay, yeah, Void's Wildcats.
And then
Velocity.
I think Fahrenheit though at the Stormwatch.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Can you name your pinup babes from 90s Image?
The teams that they came from, right?
So we'll move forward a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean a lot of it. It's not necessarily in chronological order. I wanted to kind of quickly talk about some of J Scott Campbell's most iconic covers. I think it's and I have a section of this slideshow later on that's some more iconic covers of his, but I think perhaps maybe this is his most famous cover. It's really hard to say, but to me, this is the one I think of.
Famous or infamous?
Perhaps, yeah. And I'm kicking myself because I did not pull his tweet that he did where he did the fix. Yeah. But anyhow, we maybe could pull that up later. But there is the newer versions of these we'll get to in a second. So this is ASM 601. Again, I think this is up there as being one of his best covers or most famous covers, at least. One of my favorites, personally. I'll say that much. And then there's actually 2 more covers from this run. Although he did other covers in this swath of Amazing Spider-Man, and some really good ones actually. But there's 3 that really stand out as being extremely famous. This one, which is ASM 606. This is obviously Spider-Man kissing Black Cat with Mary Jane looking in the background. This has been parodied and homaged many times. Oh yeah, Mark Spears homage. I mean, there's been 1,000 homages to ASM 601. There's Harley Quinn, Warren Liu covers are really good. There's quite a few.
It's a really good cover.
Yeah, I think the one knock you can make on it is it's a lot of negative space, but this is like the comic book version of that meme where the guy's looking back at the girl while he's walking with his girlfriend.
Right. Yeah. This is even worse than that. He's full on kissing the other girl.
I mean, it's to me it's in the same vein, right?
Yeah,
It's kind of in there. And then this is the kind of, I think of this as like a trifecta or a triumvirate of J Scott Campbell Amazing Spider-Man covers.
Those 3 books are very expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for around this time for ASM books. The infamous Meow, ASM 607, Felicia Hardy, in the spider costume, kind of. I don't really know that that's how Spider-Man's. I don't think he really wears like a tunic, but
Well, I mean, maybe it tucks in. You got to have some.
Maybe.
Why is it infamous? Okay.
So the reason that there's an amateur artist that called out ASM 601 and ASM 607 specifically, and said that the proportions are unrealistic. It offers an unrealistic interpretation of what women look like, and it's unreal beauty standards. And they tried to draw, I think they tried to draw ASM 601 only.
Yeah, they also called out the perspective.
Yes,
because he kind of did a fishbowl lens a little bit on it, and so the guy was calling out perspective, saying that the lines weren't right. And I mean, I think it's a great cover. So
yeah, and that's exactly how exactly comic tropes.
Yeah.
So J Scott Campbell, I think he handled that in the best way you possibly could. He said, you know what? First of all, this is kind of, I'm paraphrasing here heavily. This is the art that came out. I think it's not bad for the time. He's like, but you know what? That's a good opportunity for me to draw it in the style I would draw it today.
Right.
And so he redrew it.
Said, like, there are a few things that needed some tweaking. So, I mean, he copped to it. But
yeah. And then this is my favorite part of it is he took this cover specifically and said, why don't you out there draw it in your style? And there were hundreds, I mean, maybe more than hundreds. I remember seeing tons and tons and tons of replies, at J Scott Campbell or whatever hashtag. I can't remember what the hashtag, like J Scott Campbell critique, or it was something like that. And people were drawing this in their style. And we're talking like, everything from amateurs to famous artists were redrawing it and putting it in their style. It was great. It was one of those things where you took something that to me started out pretty negative and it ended up being like a positive, trying to get people to draw, basically.
That's awesome. That's something that I think we aspire to do, right?
Yeah.
Take the negative and put a positive spin on it. So
yeah. He showed the underlying structure and it was all right, but I think, I don't know. I think that it's just one of those things where I know a really big J Scott Campbell fan, like a super fan. He has like essentially a 9/8 of like pretty much every J Scott Campbell cover ever made, including all the really rare ones you're thinking of when I say that. And he points out that his J Scott Campbell's knees and back of knees are always a little weird to him, and legs are always a little bit long. That's just his style, though, and that's kind of what we're talking about when we talk about artists like this. We look at their style. He has a certain style of women, and it's a very a lot of women tend to look pretty similar, especially later in his career. I'm not saying he's not capable of, he's definitely capable of drawing different body styles and all that. I've seen it plenty of times. But
I mean, he's a great artist. It's just like that, like he's found what works and what's been making him money, and he's going to stick with it.
Yeah. But to be fair, like it's a style that I think a lot of people like. There's also a group of people that hate it. They get tired of it. They see too much of it, and that's true of so many things.
There's a whole. When we talked about Jim Lee, there's a whole family of artists that have tried to fashion themselves after Jim Lee. There's a whole group of artists who have tried to fashion themselves after Campbell.
Yeah, you look up art by John Royal or Paul Green, and you will potentially even be fooled into thinking that it is their art sometimes.
Yeah, maybe. And a lot of the Zenescope guys. I don't know. That might be Royal too, but on some.
Paul Green does a lot of stuff for Zenescope.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things where I understand the criticisms for sure. I also happen to be a fan because some of the stuff we're going to get to here is stuff that I absolutely absorbed and loved in the late 90s when I was really, this is when I was in the prime of reading comic books that weren't G.I. Joe or X-Men. This is like when I started to branch out. It was things like Gen 13. It was things like Danger Girl eventually. So Gen 13 came out of, Deathmate Black and all that stuff. Jim Lee definitely heavily involved, Alex Garner involved, but really Brandon Choi too, of course. But really, I think J Scott Campbell kind of made Gen 13 his own when he took over and started doing the ongoing series. He obviously did some of the covers and stuff for the limited and all that. But it's a very much a time capsule book, but I loved Gen 13 at the time because I was the right age to read it then. And so definitely
teenage prepubescent boy.
Yes. Well, and it was about a group of, you got a character named Grunge, for crying out loud.
Right.
Probably right at the end of when Grunge was an acceptable name to name a character. Maybe some would argue maybe too late.
Right.
But then came Danger Girl shortly after that, which is a creator. He created Danger Girl.
To me, I think that he was at his peak when he was doing Danger Girl.
Yes, and the interiors are just they're very dynamic.
Away. Yeah, so good.
I picked this is one of my favorite covers, so I picked this. I mean, there's like the Danger Girl preview issue, which I ordered from American Entertainment back in the day when I was picking up those books. But I love this one. I think it's a great cover. Abby Chase is the main character, but it's a whole team of characters. And then I wanted to get to some of the artwork. We're going to show a little bit later in the slideshow here, where we have some of the interiors and stuff. Yeah, she did some stuff like I think she crossed over with like Army of Darkness, and a few other things.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, crossover G.I. Joe, which we'll talk about. I have some of those slides at the end of the show, because I added them late because I was like, oh crap, I had some low quality images I had to replace, but normally they would have came in a little bit after this.
Yeah, that big guy. I was getting those great pictures.
Most of the stuff you sent was fantastic, and I think I grabbed some good stuff too, including this, which I'm only including it because this is one of my favorite images that he did.
Is that the chromium cover, or they did a chromium of that one?
This art appears on a few different issues, and I'm a little murky on what I know. There's like an anniversary sketchbook it appears on. There's this one and a chromium one too, I think, and there might even be like a spot foil or something. I love the art. I have one version. I have like the least expensive version of this, but for booty cover reasons, I love this one. So I just included that. And speaking of G.I. Joe, this is the G.I. Joe image I had early in the show that Big B sent over. He did some great G.I. Joe covers and pinups.
Yeah.
He did like the covers for some of the trade paperbacks that came out at the time for G.I. Joe when they were being reprinted. It was the Marvel stuff being reprinted by Image. And he did some really good ones there. And some of the more iconic ones will be a little bit later on. But yeah, here's where I wanted to get to some of the line art. I think this is inked though, of course, but this is just some pages I was able to find scans of that were available like at auction at one point. And I could have pulled hundreds of these. I tried to keep it a little more under control because I know they're harder to see sometimes. So I'm just trying to give an idea here of the fact that, first of all, we have to talk about J Scott Campbell doing interiors. We kind of hinted at it a couple times. His interior art, that's what I actually really enjoyed. I cannot deny he's an amazing cover artist, but from Gen 13, from Danger Girl, stuff like that, that's really the big things that he worked on regularly on the interiors. I love his interior stuff just because it's pretty cinematic, which is something that you definitely think about when you're analyzing artwork, and it's also he's great kind of reaction shots here, good use of space. It's just kind of fun. And I think the other thing is people don't think of J Scott Campbell as an interior artist anymore, so it was kind of fun to talk about and show.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, to me, the height of his interior stuff is his Danger Girl stuff. But he's a fantastic interior artist, but that doesn't pay the same as doing covers.
Yeah. So here's a Danger Girl page, which I'm right because, and there's better Gen 13 pages. There's better Danger Girl pages. I think this is a really fun one though. I think this is from the first full issue, not the preview. I think issue 1, page 32, because I think the preview is shorter. But there's like this great, it's a little top down, so you get to see a little cleavage or whatever. But I mean, it's also good work on the interior of the car. It's very, you got the panel break here that's very kind of built into the arch of the tunnel that she's going through. It's kind of cool. It's got like this weird slashy kind of dynamic look to it when it cuts into the page. It's very cool. And then this is very like Hollywood, right? Like, I mean, this could be a shot in a movie for sure.
Yeah. Very animation. Yeah. He said Hollywoody. I know in something I'm going to show later on, he was getting ready to do Danger Girl video game, and they had a bunch of animation stuff from that too. So
that's cool. Danger One, good work on the car, very Porsche. It's good.
Yeah. No complaints from me. I like it.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then this is kind of me going backwards a little bit. Here's a nice 2-page splash page from Gen 13. Just to kind of show, a lot of detail in here, a lot of the backgrounds. You could argue could have been a little bit more background going on in some of these shots, of course. Again, these are somewhat random pages. I was looking for quality scans more than I was looking for the best pages he did, because I just wanted to be able to show not photos of pages which don't look as good.
Fairchild's legs there. Whew, those are long legs
for days. And that's the thing is, but drawn compared to Roxy and Rainmaker, she was drawn differently. She was this super and it's a plot point in the story too, that she's Amazonian, if you will.
right
Maybe her legs shouldn't be quite that long, of course, but I think that's part of the style.
I think that was a layout, like, oh, these guys are all supposed to be this tall, and oops, I don't want to reposition the feet, I'll just make the legs real.
Lynch was a good character too. Rip Ray Seals.
Lynch reminds me of what's the main character, the guy from Invincible, Stedman.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Cecil. 100. Well, Cecil reminded me of Lynch when I read Invincible. And then also for me, when I read Danger Girl, he kind of reminded me of Banshee a little bit, just as far as how he looks. The sideburns and stuff. A little more lean, of course, but that tends to be how he draws non-super muscular characters like Grunge in most of his stuff too. And that that's again,
that picture of Grunge there is great, especially with the boot bottoms and everything. That's really good.
And that, you do have different layers going on here. There's almost like there's 3 conversations going on here, and it's all kind of in one large panel, and yet there's interest going on the left hand side too. Again, maybe not the best examples to showcase how good his interior work was, but some really good stuff in those books. Check them out. And then here's another Gen 13 page I grabbed, tried to get some action in here too. I think this is shortly after they got powered up and escaped, and were trying to escape, and they got recaptured. I think it's been a while since I've read it, but a lot more hidden. But he still, still is willing to show some feet too. The 90s, people rip on Rob Liefeld, and I think deservedly so, for the feet thing. But a lot of 90s artists were hiding the feet. Jim Lee was hiding feet at times. All those Image guys. I think I don't mean to lump them all together, but they did that. Hey, what's up, Christina? How you doing? Fun interiors. And then this is the prelim I was talking about, kind of a breakdown, I guess, of what he's thinking about doing for this Superman Gen 13 issue 2. I love issue 1. It's covered quite a bit with Superman and Fairchild on it. But this is Fairchild and Supergirl. So I just wanted to kind of show a little bit of this, a little bit of the anatomy that he's laying out here. Again, you're talking about characters that are different statures. The other criticism I think that is rightfully made of J Scott Campbell is female faces can tend to get pretty samey, but we've talked about this with other artists we've covered before, and that is something that a lot of artists unfortunately tend to have happen to them. Hair, eye color, and sometimes eye shape can sometimes be the bigger distinguishers, but it is a fair criticism. But I think he did a decent job trying to separate that. And then this next one, I'll show you the finished art. I could not find a great scan of this, so it's a little fuzzy, a little blurry, but you're going to see kind of the finish.
I don't even remember that series, but those are great.
They're not something that's easy to find for me, at least at this point. It must have been relatively low print. But again, I'll go back to the prelim real fast so you guys can kind of see that and then go to the finished. Just some really great stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure I'm not missing too much. You have a Gen 13 page by Steve Dillon that has them meeting Jesse Custer. That's cool. Wow.
That is cool.
That is really neat. And yeah. Well, just to show off to me, some of the beginnings of where you're seeing J Scott Campbell and how he turned into such and he doesn't just do pinup covers, of course, but that's what he's probably most famous for. Pinup style, good girl style covers, that kind of stuff. Here's some of where you can see he was never afraid to use some of that style in the interiors to good effect. Hey, it kept me reading. I was in the right demographic.
Right.
Yeah. So gosh, I'm trying to remember all their names, Comic Tropes. It was there was like what? Sydney, Abby Chase. Yep. Chase. And I'm trying to remember was it
Natalia Castle? Here you go, right here.
Yeah. And then she ends up becoming the spy that works for the opposite side, right? Natalia.
Yep.
So
my 3D modeling for art.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the excuse.
Now wait a minute. There we go. So yeah, just kind of a little showing off a little bit more of that. And then in their prime, would you pick Joe Mad or Jason? Well, it depends on what for figure drawing.
I love Joe Mad too.
I'm a big Joe Mad fan.
Yeah, I wish that he did more work. I mean, he's really into the video game field, so it's like he doesn't do as much comic stuff anymore at all. So
yeah, although he is doing some Age of Apocalypse covers. We talked about that not that long ago. That's tough for me. I would actually argue maybe not in their prime, but maybe before his prime, I might pick Joe Madureira to do like a full issue, because some of his early stuff, like on X-Men or whatever, I think was a little less stylized and a little more visually appealing to me. J Scott Campbell's always been pretty stylized. Joe Madureira became more stylized as he kind of got more comfortable with what he was doing, I think. But yeah, I'm probably leaning Joe Mad. That's tough though, because I one of my thoughts I've had over and over and over again is I wish somebody would just hand J Scott Campbell a grip of money and be like, look, do like a 4-issue miniseries or something like that. Do the interiors, do the covers. Yeah, that's a good point. And then, yeah, Christina brought up a good point too, by the way. There's a lot of great comic YouTube channels out there, and a lot of them are, some of them are in this chat. Some of them watch this show. Some of them are on this show, maybe. I don't know. If you want to go nominate them, the Comic Book Community Awards are going on right now. Christina was nice enough to paste a link into the chat for you to go do some nominations.
Hey, Christina's in there too for awards too. So.
Yep, absolutely. So this is a series that kind of I couldn't even say when this started happening or what his first covers he did like this were, but this is the series of covers he did for X-Men. He kind of did this for a while, where on his site he would have these exclusives, and he would do like 4 or 5 different covers, and he still kind of does this to this day. These came out several years ago though, and they were a little like the X-Men 1. They were kind of like a connecting almost set of covers, very much of a theme. So obviously you got Wolverine and Professor X here. By the way, here's a criticism I'll level. I've never loved J Scott Campbell's Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's my one. That's the character I'll throw out that I don't love the way he draws. But then you have Rogue and Gambit. Obviously, great pairing there, of course, for a cover. Very, very awesome.
Yeah.
And one of the more sought after covers. Then you have this. This is a great homage to one of my favorite covers, the Death of the Phoenix cover. You've got Cyclops and Jean Grey here. This was actually a Christmas present to me at one point.
Really? That's
yep.
cool.
Yeah, my wife got me this one because she knew I liked these characters. And then you got Psylocke and Archangel here, of course.
That's a great cover.
Yeah. Yep. And you know, another thing you'll see too, like good color theming, good, you know, color theory, I guess you could call it here.
Mm-hmm.
Really makes those covers pop. And then yeah, so as much as I may not love his Wolverine normally, this is a pretty fun cover. Also pretty rare, pretty valuable cover.
Yeah. You ever see that in a dollar bin? Grab it.
Yes. Yes. In fact, I could not find a high quality scan of this one in the time I had. And I did kind of look through some of my usual sources. So this is from like High Bid or something like that, I think is the scan. But man, just such a fun cover. Maybe not like astonishing to people, but now it's a very sought after one. That's what a few of these next ones are. This goes right along with it. It's kind of Deadpool is ringing in the bling, as he says at the top of the cover here. The last one was a Wolverine Volume 4 Issue 1 variant. This is Siege number 3, J Scott Campbell variant, obviously. Very, very sought after books. If you ever see those, grab them, especially that Wolverine one.
Yeah.
And then this is another really rare one that's out there that's sought after big time and high grade. The Black Hat one cover he did there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't believe at one point this sold for like $15 on his site. I think 9/8 of this go for like $2,000 now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty good one to go out there and find. This was a pretty big one. J Scott Campbell did the negative space thing for this cover. I love this one. Yeah,
that is really cool. And you know, it's a pretty good character.
yeah, one of our favorites. And then just a few. These aren't necessarily the most sought after ones, but you know, desirable covers. He did a lot of Black Cat for a while. He was kind of heavily associated with that character, as he has been for quite a few characters. There's a version of this. I know Bigby pulled this Yelena cover. There's a version of this too that's from I think the previous issue or the next issue. I can't remember, where it's Natasha in a very like the same pose basically.
See, now his feet on that one bother me.
I get it. The toes look like they're broken, especially on the left.
Don't look like toes.
Yep. But hey, they are there. And I mean, you know, I get it, but yeah.
Yeah, he got into this weird, like,
at least there's some fabric detail too. That's good.
Yeah, no, that part's great. It's just the feet. He did that on that Psylocke cover where she's walking away. Also, I'm like, people's toes don't work like that.
Yep. Agreed. The butt and the boobs thing. Yeah, that's a really common criticism too. Then again, like, I don't know. I've seen enough people do it in real life now to where it bothers me less. Now that Instagram has, at least for me, become a pretty extreme experience just scrolling through it sometimes.
That's a cool. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, it's a really good one too. He had a bunch of great Black Cat covers. I think this is it's maybe not insanely, you know, detailed with the background or anything like that, because it's just the kind of coloration, but I love the posing there. It would have worked really well as a like a horizontal cover as well too, maybe. Another really famous Psylocke cover I just wanted to throw in here.
Yes, Arthur Adams does some great butt boob sketches.
Yes. we definitely will get to that comic tropes. It's kind of, one to get through some of the
Definitely star that.
yeah.
Yeah, that War of the Realms one is great. I love that one.
Yeah, good hella cover. Again, just more Black Hat. I feel like for a good 5 years or so, he was just so associated with Black Cat.
Yeah.
Here you go, the Milk Bath.
Which is that Sydney Savage cover.
Yeah.
Just read it's an homage.
The Abby Chase cover, right?
Abby Chase, yeah.
I think you're thinking of Sydney Sweeney, who you'd love to see. No, I'm just kidding.
That too.
Yeah.
In the Milk Bath.
But the point being here, where we're kind of going, he's firmly in this pinup cover phase at this point in his career. And then forgot which slide was next, but then we get to this, which is kind of cool. So I showed you ASM 601, 606, and 607 earlier. And then here, for Ultimate Spider-Man, which we were talking about earlier, great reads. He kind of did this cool thing where he kind of did almost like the Ultimate version in a newer style of his. It's a little more, I guess you could say, a little more realistic composition. But yeah, I think I love it. I love seeing him come back to it, and it's perfect too because the title allows this, because Peter has the family in the Ultimate Universe and all that stuff.
Right.
So it makes perfect sense. It just works. And then I love this too, because now you got the 606 cover, and you got him kissing Mary Jane, and the kids are like, our parents. Yeah. And then it's just a really fun twist on that. And then finally, and I think this is good. I'm gonna use the term fan service in a little bit different way than it's sometimes used, but literal fan service. And there's been this narrative that Marvel doesn't want Peter to be with Mary Jane forever. But I mean, here, at least in the Ultimate, we do kind of get that version of them. And at least in the beginning, I haven't read, maybe it gets worse towards the end, but at least in the beginning, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, I think I kind of feel like these are, I mean, they're still sexy, but they're more wholesome than because you got the family aspect or the relationship aspect. So
and again, just comparing the anatomy here, like I feel like maybe he was extremely conscious of that because of that stuff that came out a few years ago, but really seems more proportionate to me than at least than the originals. But yeah. He did a whole series, kind of like the X-Men covers he did a few years ago that I showed a minute ago. He did a whole series of these where there's like a Magneto cover and there's a Banshee cover. There's a few really good ones.
I like that.
But I grabbed this one.
That's really cool.
Yeah, Storm and Iceman. I think this is just a really solid one. It looks like it should have been part of that other series almost. Hey, what's up, Awesome Sauce?
Hey.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, comic tropes with that low angle one.
That's in the 400s. I think it's an earlier issue.
I think it's in the 500s, but yeah,
it's in the 500s. Okay,
I could be wrong, but okay. So here's the Psylocke one that came out recently. This is the one you're talking about with her feet, right?
Yeah, look at her feet.
let's get the Liefeld zoom going here.
What the heck's going on there?
Yep, it's weird. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
492. There we go. It was 492.
Okay, yeah, it's close to 500 at least. In my defense, but
we were both right.
Yeah. You were right. Can you pull it up and measure Spidey? Yeah, I need to get like a guy in the chair or whatever. And then we're getting like some of his very modern stuff here, and we're gonna kind of go a little quicker here. This is some stuff that came out from Marvel Rivals a few months ago, or is maybe even still coming out. I kind of lost track. But obviously Marvel Rivals is very famous right now. I will say though, this is kind of one that, Big B pulled this one, all the Rivals ones you're about to look at. This is the one that kind of bugs me because J Scott Campbell doing, I don't know if you've seen Rivals Sue Storm, but she thick.
Yeah, she's a little thin for the Rivals Sue Storm.
And I realize he's doing it in just his regular style here. I get it. He's doing that costume. Still, I thought it would have been cool to see him do like the thicker versions of these characters.
There's an issue on that. There's an issue on this too. The torso is tilted.
Oh yeah,
the wrong way.
This is Comic Joke's worst nightmare here.
Compared to the hindquarters going up.
Yep.
It doesn't look right.
No, it's that I will fully admit to. This is the worst of the butt boob pose reality right here too. But yeah, I mean, considering he tried to get the butt in there, you could at least do the thick thing. And I'm not saying that just I mean, I think it would have been cool to see him branch out his style a little bit, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Not just because I want to see a bigger butt on Sue Storm. That's beside the point, but also true. Here's his Black Widow rivals. And he did a bunch of these. I think we have like 4 here. We'll show you.
I think my favorite that's my favorite one.
And this one, her proportions are maybe slightly closer to what the video game represents.
Right.
Which is kind of weird that he did it for this one, but not the other one. But hey, whatever. Great cover.
Well, that one came out a little later. Maybe they told him, hey, cake him up a little bit.
And then J Scott Campbell said, okay, I'll just do whatever the hell I want anyway. And here you go.
Right.
That's my guess. I have a feeling there's not many notes given to J Scott Campbell by Marvel.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, pretty cool magic one here. The other thing, and I mean, for these covers, you definitely could probably forgive it a little bit more, kind of knowing that they're all going to be kind of displayed together by a lot of people. But the backgrounds are pretty non-existent in a lot of modern J Scott Campbell's too.
Yeah, pretty minimal. Yeah.
This was just released on a site last weekend and sold out like in a heartbeat. Little robe going on here.
For one of your cover of the week there.
I'm gonna go with Derek here. Cake him up a little bit more on this one too. Is
right.
But at least it's better. It's better than the Sue Storm.
I think he was commenting on the direction. Cake him up a little.
Yeah. And then here's another cover that there was another one that was like a Marvel anniversary border reference too, but these are the 2 we pulled that came out. And then this is something that Bigby posted today, and my initial reaction was shit, because now there's like a 1 in 100 of all these, and now I'm gonna have to go buy the 1 in 100 of this because I'm a stupid Cyclops simp. Stupid sexy Cyclops. Yeah, I like this one.
Cyclops.
But it's and he did by the way a really great, because I was trying not to pull too many covers. I mean, I know we had a lot. Right. There's a really good original lineup X-Men cover he did like about a year ago. That's really not bad at all too.
Oh, Chad, there is a Daredevil in this series of books. This one, he just posted these on Instagram.
Yeah,
there is a Daredevil one.
I'm guessing that's why. Why. But yeah, there's a Daredevil. And then just an Abby Chase. I think this was I can't remember if this was the cover, if this was just a pinup in the back of a book, but it's an art print available on his site that I just happened to grab late in the show. And then I think the here's the G.I. Joe ones I added again.
Wow, that one's cool. I don't think I've ever seen that one before.
Yeah. And then the kind of infamous ones he did, these are quite spendy as well. And there's also, in addition to these, there's also a set that has like all the characters on the cover from both franchises in pairs, I think. Yeah. But these are 2 that I would definitely love to find. Thank you very much, Christina. That's very nice of you. Yeah, lack of backgrounds is something we're going to talk about here. But yeah, so I always love Baroness and Scarlet, and there's a Lady J on another cover, which makes me very happy. But so we're going to talk about his impact a little bit. We're going to talk about some of his art style. So here's, we've talked about it a little bit the entire time. Interior versus cover artist. And J Scott Campbell, I'll just say that my little piece on it, then I want to hear your opinion, Big B.
Sure.
He's an artist who the money is in the covers. I get that. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't love to see him return to do some interior stuff. And I feel like at this point in J Scott Campbell's career, with all the stuff he does, all the great covers he sells, I feel like that would be a selling point for a book. And I also feel like maybe it would challenge him as an artist to do more storytelling and more backgrounds and stuff like that. You saw in some of the art we showed earlier, he's never been huge on drawing a ton of backgrounds.
Right.
He's definitely capable of it. Again, I could have pulled better examples to showcase some of that.
He
too.
does a really good job of it when he does it.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing about doing interiors. Look, almost every artist, just about, skimps on interiors or uses some trickery, and sometimes it's for story reasons. Sometimes the focus needs to be on the character. Sometimes it's a negative space, trick to draw you to the character. Sometimes you don't want to be distracted by detail in the background. I get that, but he's definitely pretty egregious on it, especially with some of these covers, and he's obviously capable of doing it. So that's interesting. But the other thing I would say is he's such an in-demand cover artist. I feel like it's created with him, Adam Hughes, there's others, Art Adams is kind of at this point now. It's created this cover artist only mentality that a lot of artists bring to it. And some artists, that is their forte, right? They can do great characters. It takes them maybe too long to do interiors with their art style or something like that. That's probably true for some artists out there. But I feel like it's created this, the cover is the most important thing on some of these books. There's a ton of variants out there that showcase artists like, you guys all know Art Germ and, all these different people that are all out there doing this. And this is not a knock to any of those artists. I'm glad they're out there. I'm glad they're getting work in that respect. It's very good, but it does sort of, at least for me personally, make me think about like the era where the interior artist did the cover and tried to showcase something inside or something about that story a little bit more. Or even if it wasn't the person who did the interiors and it was another fill-in artist or different, series of cover arts done by somebody else, at least that was somewhat referential to what's inside other than just a character, especially when it's just a woman. And sometimes I really like those covers. I really like that art, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best cover for the book to sell the interior, to sell the story inside. And I think that's kind of some of the impact that I think we've seen from people. And I can't lay it squarely at J Scott Campbell's feet by any stretch of the imagination. His weirdly bent feet at that, as Bigby might point out. But I do think it's
only in a couple covers. Only in a couple.
Yeah. It is definitely one of those things where it's something that's changed, and I'm not sure it's really truly for the better for comics.
Or even sometimes sad that he's not doing it. That he's not doing interiors.
Yeah. But the last thing I was gonna say is even for collectors, I think sometimes it's bad because there's people. So that Rogue Savage Land stuff we showed, you could buy that whole set for like $105 unsigned or like $150 signed. And there are people out there that they want to buy every set of J Scott Campbell. When you're spending $150 on a set of a few covers for one book, that's gonna I think that's gonna have an effect on those collectors in terms of like, well, granted they are spending money on comics and that's great, but would they have instead bought a few trade paperbacks of something they're going to read, as opposed to 3 copies of the same issue that have different covers? And I get like, people can buy whatever they want, like that's also fine.
No judgment there. I think he's go ahead.
The last point that I'm leading into with that is that then you have like he's done the Cyclops cover we showed, where there's that it's what is the name that they put on those? It's like the J Scott Campbell collection or something like the
Campbell collection. Yeah,
the Campbell collection. Thank you. And it's kind of like when Alex Ross did all the Marvel covers or whatever, the timeless variants. There are people out there then go try to collect that whole set of covers, and it's insane. It's just when you think about the money that goes into that, all the different covers you'd have to collect. And there's people that go out there and do it, and then they end up with this collection of covers, which if there was one book that came out with all those covers in it, maybe that would be just as satisfying. And again, people want to do that, that's fine. No problem with that. I just wonder about if is that really the best thing for collectors in the comic book industry in the long run. Okay, that's my piece on it. Baby, I'm curious to hear your opinion.
That's kind of a general theme that we've been talking about for a while is all the variants and whether it's good for the collectors in the community in the long run, and like wanting to get all your favorite artists covers and everything. But I think he's a victim of his own success. He's gotten known really for doing the female form. And so he's kind of gotten pigeonholed into doing that over and over again. I'm really surprised when we see a cover where he has two dudes on the cover, that Wolverine and Professor Xavier cover. You know, I'm like, usually if there's going to be a guy, there's going to be a girl too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of unusual. Like the Cyclops cover, I was surprised that it was just Cyclops, you know. But you know, it's sad that he doesn't do interiors. I think he's really talented individual in doing that. I actually have a art reference book that I wanted to show too to people. If you guys want to draw like that kind of stuff, there's some really good art reference in one of these books. But I couldn't believe neither one of us pulled this cover.
It's definitely one of my favorites. Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, we didn't pull that cover.
But ultimately, I mean, it's weird. It's one of my favorites, but ultimately, it's kind of simple, really. I mean,
yeah. It is. This is a really good book if you want to draw or get down some of the basics for drawing the way Campbell does. It's got some great, like, you know, character design stuff in it, sketch work.
Nice.
But what I found really super helpful, I mean, here's just, you know, the bad guys. But what I found helpful in my art is there's a couple pages in here. And then there's flip book stuff in the corners of these things. There's like this. When I have my studio set up, I have a printout of that. He has the facial expressions thing. That's pretty cool.
To be fair, I made the criticism about the faces being kind of samey. He is capable of doing some really expressive faces, at least.
And this is what I was talking about, like the animation, because he was doing like showing like more of a Disney-esque style.
Yeah.
Style. But I put bars on here because they were anatomically correct.
Oh,
but,
sure.
Like he has the body form broken down, like you know, in here. The head tie and all that, and how he draws noses, how he draws eyes. What I found also super helpful is at the top of this page, he has like a design thing for like an action figure design. And I found that really helpful in drawing, like the way that he showed pivot points and everything else. Just really cool that way.
Have a good night, Awesome Sauce.
So let me show you one other thing out of here. Oh, this character that never appeared because she was a video game only character, the mechanic character.
Kind of like a cave woman kind of thing?
She's a mechanic.
Oh, I thought she had bones or something, but they're wrenches or whatever.
Two big wrenches.
Okay. Yeah, she does have two big wrenches. I see that.
Two big wrenches. That's right. But there's a bunch of stuff in here for animation and whatnot for they were going to do a Danger Girl video game, and then there's like all these cut screen things that he did for the game. So like,
I guess that's part of it is, you know, kind of Comic Tropes made that comment earlier about whatever happened to Danger Girl. It's like, dude, Danger Girl relaunch #1 by J Scott Campbell coming out, that's going to move some books.
Yeah.
But even if he just did like the layouts and he had somebody else help him with the finishes or something.
Yeah. So if you guys want to, if there's people out here that are, you know, we're encouraging people to draw, this is the J Scott Campbell Danger Girl sketchbook. And I don't think it's really expensive. I know it's been printed multiple times with different covers, but it's pretty cool. It's got like I said, it's got a flip book going both ways of animation of Sydney and Abby doing their thing, one with the whip and whatnot, but it's really cool.
It's funny. Chad, I'm just gonna Chad, I hope this wasn't super private. I don't see why it would be. He sent me the reprint of Gen 13 1. I can't remember I think it was like the third print, I can't remember. where she's dressed up in a maid costume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's funny. I hope, Chad, I hope this wasn't super private. I doubt it would be. All he said was "holy hell," and it just made me think about that, because that's actually a cover that I've sort of recreated that cover as best I could when I was drawing one time. It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's a cover where you could easily look at it and say, oh, unrealistic proportions. Like her legs are 8 miles long and go on till Sunday.
Right.
But it's a great cover in my opinion. It's one of those ones where when I got back into comics, I made sure to go grab a copy of it, because it's like, hey, that's something I wanted.
Right.
That's a great sketchbook. And yeah, I think that it's funny. I have every bit of confidence that J Scott Campbell could draw a more proportionate, proportionate comic book pose, but I think his style is just, I think he just goes with it by feel and is not as worried about proportions being anatomically accurate. And I think that's fine.
It's stylized for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The Encore #1. That's right, Chad. Thank you. I was trying to remember what exactly it appears on. But yeah, it's really I can see why it's really polarizing, I guess is what I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, and like we said, I think it's sad that we are seeing more and more people, once they become successful, they get pulled to doing those covers, but it pays a lot more to do covers is the sad fact. And like you said, that we're seeing books that have the covers have nothing to do with what's going on in the interior, other than they share a character in common, but ultimately the cover sells the book, right? So
yeah, 100%. The none of what I said is like arguing with the reality of the situation. It's just I just question that comic books do a lot of things, and this is true of almost all businesses too, by the way. They do a lot of things to make money now, but I maybe sometimes wonder if it's what's best to keep everybody engaged long term.
Right. No, for the health of the industry long term, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how things shake out.
Yeah. For sure. 100% agreed on that. But yeah, J Scott Campbell, I mean, like our criticisms aside, he's doing just fine.
Hey, Mr. Campbell, if you watch this, I love all your stuff. Just a couple things about your feet.
Well, and it's funny because I'm a huge fan of his. Like I'm somebody who has to like pump the brakes because I don't want to, as much as I would want to. The reality is I can't own every J Scott Campbell cover, so I have to like kind of figure out where I draw the line.
We want to get all of those Campbell covers and Hughes covers and all of that stuff. If you're somebody who's thinking about that, danger grill. If you're somebody who's thinking about that, my advice would be wait. Don't get them when they're new. Wait until a year down the road, and they're going to be much more affordable for the most part, unless it's one that is a very limited edition one that's sold out.
Well, and that's the problem, right? Because so with some of his exclusives, like those Rogue ones that just sold out, maybe those are a flash in the pan, maybe not. But there's a better than even odd with J Scott Campbell, that when he draws somebody like Rogue and it's exclusive and it sells out that quickly, that the cover could continue to climb.
Right. No, I mean, that's the thing with his exclusive stuff. Yeah, it's not a bad bet that it's going to get worth more, but
well, and again, I know somebody who really does have like maybe not the ultra modern stuff, but pretty much every first 25-30 years of J Scott Campbell's career, pretty much all that stuff. But there are people out there that definitely are into that. And it's something that I try to caution people in believe me, I speak from experience in some of these ways. You got to be careful. Like if you don't picture what your comic book collection will look like in a few years, if you keep collecting the way that you do, if you do that, sometimes you might find like, oh, actually 3 years from now, it'd be fun to, have this run that I never collected, or to not have as many boxes around, or to, people have different, and that's all fine. That's all personal perspective. But if a lot of people who collect comics impulsively collect covers, or impulsively collect certain artists, or impulsively collect comics in general, and sometimes that can lead to problems down the road. That's all I'll warn. His Essentia cover is pretty odd. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Oh.
figure drawings idea was not a bad idea. Taking screenshots if you're just a cover collector.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
I've
something
done that.
about having that physical book in your hands, but yeah.
I have a whole folder of like comic art that I really like, and sometimes I end up getting those comic books. Like if I see it out in the wild, sometimes I do, but a lot of times it's like, okay, I can look at it whenever I want,
Right.
And if you're able and you have the space and the money, more power to you. Do whatever you want. I'm just talking about what will actually make you happy.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that we're kind of on the same page there. I was kind of half-heartedly, while we were talking, I was trying to find if I had a digital copy somewhere of that art I did, because I was kind of curious now. I somewhere I do, but yeah,
that would be cool to see for sure.
Yeah, I guess I could actually try searching for it. I think I named it correctly. Nope.
I mean, ultimately, I love his artwork. I lament the fact that he's not doing interiors, and I kind of wonder if a lot of artists, I wonder if they feel like a loss not being able to do that,
Yeah,
because I'm sure they had a love of that medium. Obviously he has a love of that medium. His stuff looks so great, the cinematic way that he draws everything and stuff in those. So I wonder if there's somewhere a little bit inside of him he kind of misses that.
It's funny. I've had some somewhat private and somewhat public, depending on the artist, conversations with some artists that are very notorious cover artists now. Generally, none of generally the ones I've talked to, I'm not speaking for every artist here, they don't look back, generally speaking. Like they're like, right, I can draw, 2 covers a week, 5 covers a week, whatever it is, and make more than I was making as an interior artist. And you want to think that it's for the love of the art, and that they would want to just create pages and stories and stuff like that. I think a lot of them, though, they're happy. They're happy to of course, they're doing it professionally. They want to pay the bills. That makes sense to me. But I think the romanticy of comic books makes me want to say, like, oh, I hope that's the case, right? Like, I hope you want to draw again. But I also understand the business side of it completely. It's
a job. You got to make a living. You got to meet your deadlines. I haven't watched it yet, but Nerdy Megs or Nerdy Musings just did a interview with Kubert's daughter.
Oh, nice.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Is it Sarah?
Oh my gosh. Is it?
Forget her name.
I would just blank.
Emma Kubert.
Yeah.
He just said, and I've seen a snippet where she's like, "This is a job." She's like, just hitting your deadlines and moving on to the next thing is a big part of it.
Yeah. And it makes perfect sense to me. Like, again, I think there's also an argument to make comics would be better for it. If maybe the artists were paid a little bit more for interiors or something like that, to the point where they could attract that talent. I mean, it's funny because I think of occasionally, an Alex Ross or whatever will do some interiors. Now, he obviously did a lot in the past. Occasionally, not a lot, but he did a fair amount. I'm trying. There's some other artists that have kind of gone back and done covers or done interiors recently. And I have a lot of respect
when that first started happening. Like, I mean, I think it kind of even almost probably goes back to the golden age. We have guys that did just covers.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Neil Adams became pretty prolific at doing almost all covers at one point.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I wonder how far back that goes. Just like, where did it become this thing where there's these guys that made their living on doing covers? I mean, you saw it a lot with DC back in the Bronze Age and Silver. So
yeah, I definitely I love comic book art. I love good interior art, and I guess the other part, the part I'm not saying out loud that I need to, is that some modern interior art just is not that great, you know, and the ones that are, there's artists I love, you know, that I love the stuff they're doing. You kind of wonder, like, okay, but what a point, are they just going to do covers?
Right. At some point,
You know?
they're going to get so well known or so popular that they're going to move on to just doing covers.
Yeah. It's just, I guess it's part of the enjoy it while it lasts mentality.
I mean, there's also like the transverse, right? We've seen artists that do mainly covers that move on to where they start doing interiors, like Peach Momoko and stuff, right? So
true. Although she was such an established artist in her own right before she did comics, I feel like that, you know, that kind of maybe made more sense that she might want to try to use her art for storytelling more.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, like, it does happen the other way around.
It does. That's I was actually in my head struggling to come up with an example, and then you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that's a great example of that. Yeah, it's fantastic, and I think it's a good thing for comics too.
Yeah.
Speaking of health for comics and that kind of stuff.
Chad, that's a good point. I think all artists can do covers and interiors, but not on a deadline.
Well, yeah, not on a deadline. And there's some some artists that I wonder, they could do interiors, but the interiors might just be a bunch of figures and with nothing else in there, basically.
Right.
You know, and I don't want to come across as like I'm knocking that. That's good for what it is. Definitely. I'm not putting down that kind of art either, but
right.
Yeah.
I mean, makes you like all the more appreciative of the guys like George Perez and stuff like that, who could do that amazing artwork and still hit all the deadlines and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's just funny how that works. It's something that there's so many greats from back in the day that were doing it, and they did it for years.
The first one that I can remember that couldn't really hit his deadlines, that I would wait and buy his book no matter what, and we were all lament the fact that he couldn't do a monthly book, was Arthur Adams.
Yeah,
like it was like, oh my gosh, they wouldn't put out a series by him unless he had it finished, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, so we would get the annual every year for X-Men or the New Mutant special or whatever, but it was never, we weren't seeing a monthly book from him.
Yeah. Right. That's Chad. When I mentioned Alex Ross earlier, that's kind of what I was thinking of. It's like, man, all that Earth X. Well, wait, he didn't do some of the art inside Earth X, I guess, but
Earth X he just did the covers for.
Yeah. But like the Marvels and all that. Yeah, it's and Kingdom Come, of course.
He did do that Fantastic Four series recently, or book. Was it a book?
Right. That's when I said he does it. He still kind of does it. That's the one I was thinking of. But
he didn't do paint. He tried to. He wanted to show it as more of he could do pencils and stuff. So
yeah, it's crazy. Hey, should we show some community artwork?
We should show some community artwork.
I think we should show some community artwork. Well, we're speaking about art. We're talking about great artists. We just talked about the amazing J Scott Campbell. I want to take this moment, and I'm sure Big B does as well, of course, to highlight some of our amazing community artists that we have that submit artwork to us. If you want to be one of the people that submits artwork to us, get in contact with us and submit artwork to us. It's really not hard. We're going to show it. And we're going to talk about it, and we're going to give you guys a platform to have your art shown up, because we love it when you draw. Case in point, somebody who draws. So you said he draws because of some of the stuff that we were doing, right?
Absolutely, yeah. He was inspired to start drawing because we talk about pick up a pen and paper and start drawing. So
here we have Steve Driscoll sending this awesome Robin piece. Batman is on a date with Catwoman again. I should get time and a half when that bat signal comes up, says Robin up in the corner there. That's great, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I wonder if it looks like we're at the pier. I wonder if Robin's gonna either just got done jumping a shark, or if he's about to go jump a shark, maybe.
Got his repellent with him.
yeah. It's great, man. Good job, Steve. I love it.
Yeah, Steve. I mean, like I would say, and send the art. Steve sends me 3 or 4 pieces of artwork every day.
It's awesome. Yeah, Lucio Perillo mentioned in the chat. There's another really great name. We've got Roscoe, Geek Out with Roscoe, amazing member of the community out there as well. Doing. Hi, is this the character from Looney Tunes?
It is. It's it's Tweety from that episode where he gets turned into a monster.
Right. Okay, good. I was like, this in the back of my head, I can recognize this, but I couldn't quite pull what cartoon it was from. I love Roscoe does a lot of great stuff. He loves classic animation and humor animation and stuff, and he does an awesome job every time. Great on the yellow blank there too for Tweety. That's awesome.
Yeah, love it.
Shout out to Roscoe. This is Rich Stankey.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't get a message about any, because he's an artist, you know, he does work out there, and was just at Heroes Con doing some art out there, and he sent this one because we hadn't shown a piece for him for a hot minute. So here we have some amazing Rich Stankey art. He does a great job. I love it.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
What the see-through, that was great.
Yeah, it is a little see-through. I'm thinking it probably will get through, but
no, I mean it's blurred enough. I just was like, I just love the effect that he got on there. It's really cool.
There's a little detail if you zoom in, or at least
peeking in there. I get it, but
yeah. Another great artist that regularly submits to us that we love seeing the art from is Norin Rad, aka Rad Art and Comics, doing an amazing Weapon X here. And
a lot of these guys are on Instagram and they do commissions. So I think a lot of the stuff we've been seeing from Norin is commission stuff. So
I'm trying to tell. Did he go over the trade dress on something?
This is the back cover, I believe.
Is it the back cover? Okay, because I saw that there's the barcode there, and I was like,
yeah, I think it's the back cover.
Okay, that's so cool. I wonder what the front was. That's awesome. I'll have to go check out his profile and see if I can.
He's got some great stuff he's been doing. He's working with Bleecker on his book that he's doing too,
right.
So bunch of covers.
Was it Murder Face?
Murder.
No,
my goodness, I can't think of the name of it.
I wish I could pull it. I'm so sorry, guys. If either of you end up watching, leave a comment. Remind us again what account they can go follow for you. Sorry, I just having a blank.
If you look up Bleecker Street Comics on Instagram, that you'll find it.
Yeah. Papa Irwin is in the chat earlier. Not sure if he's still watching, but Irwin killed it on this Wonder Woman piece. This is awesome.
Super cool. I love it.
Yeah. I love the effect here of like the arms as they're getting hit, like it's kind of like they're vibrating or shaking a little bit.
Yeah, I love the hair. The hair is really good.
Hair's really good. Yeah, and just great musculature. Nailed it.
Good stuff.
Fantastic. Eric, SideQuest Comics, doing a little Dazzler, and to me, I guarantee it's not this, but the first thing I thought of when I saw this was Stranger Things. I don't know why. Like,
I could see that. That's cool.
Yeah, rocking out the headphones.
Yeah, he's been doing some really
great piece.
Really like Eric's art.
Zoom in a little bit here. I know I'm kind of cutting off some of the edges of the art, but it's a cool concept. You know, listen to music. The powers are in effect. You got the music notes coming out.
Right.
Love it.
Really, really cool.
Got Dominic Gomez.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about this piece? Because
this is a cover for I think he might have done this one professionally. He told me it was a cover that he did for hire. So
okay, cool.
Yeah. So congrats if he's getting some pro work. really cool. I love that cover. It's neat. But go check him out, Dom Gomez on Instagram. You can see all of his stuff, and another great artist.
Very cool. This is I think this was starts with an L. Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. That's right. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln. Wow, we showed this one, the pencils, last week. So
yeah. Did you color this one?
I colored that one with colored pencil. I'm not real happy with it yet. That's probably pretty close to finished, but so what I did is I scanned it and up the contrast, kind of digitally inked it, cleaned it up a little bit, and then had somebody took it to a print shop to have it printed out so I could color it. And I was like, I want like a toothy, grainy paper, and the guy, he's like, oh no, this is going to be the best for the medium you're using. And the paper he gave me wasn't great, so didn't really grab the colored pencil very well.
Gotcha. It looks cool.
No thanks.
It was kind of neat to see it colored after seeing like the pencils for a while on it. That was cool.
Yeah. I think it's come out pretty cool, and I'm excited to see Comics Limited is going to ink that and then watercolor paint it too, and then also Elliot Wright is going to ink this piece as well. So it'll be interesting to see different takes on it. Yeah.
And this was for was this for Collecto 6 or was this for
this is for Steven for Collecto 6. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. Good job, man.
Oh, thank you so much.
We have one more piece. This is from Actual Dracula, who was in the chat earlier as well.
So good.
It's
Scarecrow.
Awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, I got just
that pen and ink right there. That is that texture. Oh man, it's such a good job with the texturing and cross hatching and everything for the pen and ink. Amazing. Good job, Drac.
Totally. This is like a professional level commission that you can get from an artist if you were like, Capullo, draw me a Scarecrow.
Zoom in on that. Zoom in on that ink work. That is just amazing. That's like, jeez. Yeah, so good. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Good job, man. That is so
fantastic, man. Continue to be impressed by that, man.
Absolutely.
Very good job. Hey, thanks to all of our community artists for submitting artwork. It's honestly one of the highlights of my week is getting to go over some of that stuff as it comes through. It's really cool. If you want to submit your stuff, again, I'm Bronze Age Nerd pretty much everywhere. Big B McFly pretty much everywhere. If you can get a hold of us on social media, send us your artwork. We'd love to feature it. I don't care how old it was. I don't care, whatever. We're more than happy to show it.
For sure. If we haven't shown it here before, send it to us. We'll show it.
Yeah. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it for me. You got anything you need to go over?
No, do we have any news for this week? Or are we just gonna?
There's
like a light week for news.
Again, I didn't have a lot of time to pull stuff. I was focusing on the main topic. I wanted to talk about Mr. Campbell, and I feel like we did a pretty good job covering that. I was just trying to think. Really, I guess I want to take an extra second to say thanks to everybody who support Heroes for Heroes. It's not over yet. We've got some more stuff coming. Right. And speaking of community art, we have a community art stream coming up on July 26th. If you didn't catch that earlier, it'll get scheduled within the next couple days, probably on my channel. And we'll be hosting a lot of great artists. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And we're working on other efforts like that too. So if you have any interest in that stuff whatsoever, even if you can't make that day, reach out to us. If you have any comics you want to donate that we can auction off for you, or any art or any of that kind of stuff, reach out to us.
So we're going to be doing the art stream, and we're also going to be doing an additional auction stream, right?
Yeah.
Of prints and art, or comics and art and everything else too. So.
Yeah, we at least, I want to get the shipping completely done. I know Comics Limited said that he had some shipping done. We had some other payments rolling for shipping for stuff we had invoiced. And so we're that stuff's going out. He's doing a great job packing up the comics. Again, the print stuff, unfortunately, I got to get some supplies, and I tried. I went to a bigger city today than where I live. I live in a tiny town, and I tried to find some stuff at a couple places and just kind of struck out. So I'll have to special order some things. But yeah, we'll have that stuff going out soon. If you have any, you know, I'll tell you this much. Might be a little too early to talk about it or whatever. Sorry, Sean, if it is, but I have a viewer who's going to throw a barbecue down in Texas, and I'll if I find out more details, I'll put it out there. He's going to throw a barbecue because he said, like, I don't, you know, I sold my collection. I don't really have comics to donate, but he makes good barbecue food. He's going to do a cookout, and he's going to take the money from that and donate to Heroes for Heroes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
lots
really
of cool stuff like that. So if there's anything out there, you know, ask your employers, ask companies that might be interested in helping out veterans in
a lot
your
of
area.
companies will donate to causes, especially if it's one for veterans.
Yeah.
So if you do want to do that, you have the contact information for that, so people can reach out to you, right?
100%. You know, if you guys are curious about any of that stuff, a good email address. It's all one word. It's thebronzeagenerd@gmail.com. That is an easy way to reach out to me. It's attached to my channel on YouTube too. You can find it like on the contact page or whatever. But yeah, it's a good way to reach out if you have any questions about that. We can get you in touch directly with Mission 22 to make sure that the correct paperwork is filled out, all that stuff for your company, so they get the tax credit. Which, hey, that's a legit part of it, right?
Right.
So we're fine with that. We all of it helps
For sure.
So yeah, stay tuned for information about that. Stay tuned for next week when we'll be back with another topic, another show. Yeah, in the meantime, you know, keep buying J Scott Campbell variants, I guess, right?
Yeah, there's that. Oh, you know what we should say? We should ask Jay if he has anything he wants to promote.
Yeah, absolutely. Jay, you got anything coming up, Hydra Asylum or EXP related that we need to hear about?
Well, as always, stay tuned all week for EXP shows. I don't know what we're going to be doing on the Hydra Hangout this Saturday, mainly because we did our spoiler review of Superman this past Saturday, so I got to figure out what I'm doing this weekend. But yeah, just stay tuned to the experience. And I know that Christina put the link in the chat earlier for the CBC award, or the CB. Is it CBC? Awards? Yes. Make sure you go. There is a lot of people that I follow that are on that list, including the two gentlemen on your screen right there. I mean, we even got nominated, which is really cool. So
yeah.
I wonder if he could have nominated you.
another really important point about that for people that don't understand how that works. It's not just being nominated, it's the number of people that nominate you that can get you to become a finalist. So that's even
right.
I actually would point this out to them. They'll do posts and they'll say, oh, these channels are nominated. And I hope that people understand that that doesn't mean that they're in. They need more nominations to get to the next stage of the
right. Because they do the finalists then.
Yeah, yes.
So the total number of nominations gets you to becoming a finalist. So
yeah. And I know that sometimes that's not totally clear. So yeah, go nominate Hydra Asylum, go nominate the EXP, or any shows that you know. I'm not telling you who to vote for. Go vote for whoever you want. But those are some great channels.
If you enjoy it, nominate it.
Yeah, exactly. Like Comics Limited says here, buy him from me. He's another channel on YouTube right there.
That's right. I think he's got nominated for best shorts or something.
Yeah.
So
any other plugs you need to let us know about, Jay?
Well, make sure you tune in tomorrow for Minute to Skim It at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Then we have Welcome to Wonderland Comics with Rich Davis. That comes on directly after at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. And then Henry's taking the night off at his usual spot of 10 Eastern, 9 Central. But it's going to be me and Kyle doing the second shift lunch comic book sales. So be sure to check that out.
Cool.
And for those wondering, those are all over on the EXP comic streaming network. I've talked about that a bunch, and you've heard Baby talk about it too. So there's a link in the description for that. It's a YouTube channel called the EXP, but they also stream on Facebook and on Twitch and Instagram Live and all that kind of stuff. Lots of great content over there. Hopefully, a lot of you have made it over there or are watching there now. We'd love to see more people over there checking them out. So go like and subscribe. In addition, please do that for my friend Abraham Lincoln. Big B McFly, the comic guy as well. Hydra Asylum Comics for our producer Jay in the background. Nominate all those channels you love, and also again, buy some J Scott Campbell books from Comics Limited. I love it. I love it.
That's right. We love you,
We love the
Trav.
community. Yeah, we love the community around us because we wouldn't be here without you. So yeah, love to show it back for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Everybody have a great night, and we'll catch you next time. If you guys want us to talk about Superman after we get a chance to see it or anything like that, let us know if you want us to talk about that, because I think it might be kind of fun to do something like that too, to talk about. That's a pretty big comic book movie.
I think we might have to have Jay on, like, on the screen if we're going to talk about it.
For sure. We gotta, I mean, for those that don't know, by the way, Jay is a super fan.
Superman, super fan.
Yeah. So yeah. All right, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll catch you in the next one. Later.